Roz.
Hi, my name is Anna and I'm a singer.
Hi, my name is Peyton and I'm a dancer.
And today, what are we doing today?
Today, we are back with a very exciting first comeback reaction to rookie boy group Blitzers.
Yes, so recently Blitzers had a comeback with a new song called 실수 좀 할게, Will Make a Mistake. But first we need to apologize that we are a little late with this one. Life gets busy, as you know. But we're actually really excited about this comeback because we had reacted to their debut a few months ago from a request. We really liked what we saw then, so this is really exciting.
But also, before we start, apologies if you hear weird noises on the background of either side of our video. They're doing construction outside of both of our apartments, so it's been a fun morning, everyone.
But obviously we watched the teasers for this comeback, so that being said, let's go! I was gonna say it seems like they're connected, kind of, right? The music videos?
Yeah, in the teaser I had that feeling too.
Oh,
I have the same like Rebel Without a Cause feeling, and the fact that it started with that guitar.
I apologize. The music I had way too loud. I did not hear what you just said.
It's okay. You can be surprised when you're editing.
Okay.
Oh, that is so dangerous.
Why? Dude, please don't. Please don't.
Okay.
Ooh. It's really,
They're always scheming something.
Oh! It's so, like, playful. But, like, yeah, like you were saying, the Rebel Without a Cause, or whatever, Rebel, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said, Rebel Without a Cause at the beginning.
I really like this line. So much.
Oh. My reaction to seeing them though
What?
is like, oh, they're so cute.
Yeah, that's fair. They're so like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. And then, but then literally the song and music video are like completely opposing what we just said.
Oh!
I wanted to go to space. Oh my god, wait, what? Oh. This is like
I was not expecting this out of this music video.
It's kind of spooky. Is this like the Little Prince, but like Rebel-esque?
I already know what that face was for.
But do you know what I mean? Kind of like that. They're just looking at the planets. Huh?
Oh.
It was all a dream.
Are they dreaming big? Or am I just misunderstanding
Fasten
this?
your
That's also
seatbelts.
album title. So let's just jump right into a couple of things about the dance because it was so fun. There were so many like cute and also just interesting little details in it. So the first thing I want to talk about are the accents, just the musicality of the dance, which sounds kind of strange because usually in a song that's like this, where it's more percussive and the dance is a little bit harsher, you don't talk about musicality as much. You tend to think of that in things that are a little bit lighter, more like sustained. They still had so much musicality in this. A great example of that is all of the accents in the chorus, where they were hitting all of like the percussion crashes and like all of the different hits in the chorus, because if you were looking at the dance, like when I look at the choreography, the way that they've built it, if you were gonna do it without musicality and just sort of be more straightforward, I would expect every single one of those like step, hits to actually be a beat earlier than they are. There's a little bit of a delay from what you expect in the choreography so that they can match the music, but it makes it that much more impactful. And that's a really good example of why musicality is important, because they could have done it the other way and it would have been fine, but doing it like this makes it so much more entertaining. It elevates the dance like higher than it already is. And I just really enjoyed that because it wasn't exactly what you would expect when you're watching it. Something else about the dance that I really enjoyed were all of the little motions and gestures in it. And similarly to how Anna really loves small details in music, I really love little gestures that like might not happen more than once in a dance, but that just sort of make it a little bit more playful, especially with a concept like this. And a couple of the ones I really liked were the blah 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 when they're like heh, heh, heh. Or I really liked when they said go away and they turned to the side and just went, and it was really small, which is not what I was expecting from the dance either, because it is sort of a bigger production, like it's a bigger dance. So when they pull it back and they do something really tiny, it actually has more impact. It's sort of like, done with you, goodbye. But my last comment is just sort of the overall feeling of it. I talked about this in the first Blitzers reaction too, and I can never remember if it's Rebel without a cause or Rebel with a cause, but I actually think it's Rebel with a cause because they're trying to rally you around something and hype you up. But you get that feeling in the dance as well, not just in the concept. And it's not just because of all of the bigger movements, but it feels almost like you're watching a rock band perform. Like there's a lot of headbanging, there's a lot of jumping around, almost like they're holding mics or like strumming guitars. And it sort of carries that feeling in the music over into the performance, even though they are a dance group, not a rock band. And it hypes you up and it makes you want to join them. So if you're thinking about Rebel sort of trying to rally someone around an idea or start a revolution, they need people to want to join them, and the dance makes you want to join them. And I think it's cool that they've kept that sort of feeling with the new song, the new concept in this. And then last note, they're just really cute. Like I don't fully understand why they ended up in space, but like they're cute kids. I really enjoyed the music video, although at some points I was like, please don't jump, please don't do that. But yeah, overall I really enjoyed it. So Anna's turn.
Hi, so it's time for my comments and where to begin. Obviously, inevitably, I'm going to compare this a little bit to their debut just because like first comeback versus debut for a rookie group. So one thing that I really liked about their debut that they continued on with this song as well that I had noticed in the teaser, so I was excited about, is they have a very like rock music sound and style. And like one of the big elements of rock music is that really intense electric guitar that you hear that is very, very prominent. It's like one of the main driving forces of this song. So since it's also in their first comeback, I'm assuming that's going to be the Blitzers sort of music style that they're going with. And it's not just like the same thing playing over and over again on the electric, but they will have like extra riffs. Like I'm thinking about the end of the song for like the final chorus, the extra riffs that they have after the more like laid back toned down bridge. But along with that sort of rock sound, like we also said in the debut reaction, Rebels, the song is very like anthem-y, getting you to join their cause again. It is with a cause. You hear that in a few different ways. Like one of the most obvious ones would be like the entire chorus with the na-na-nas. It's very like group singing, wanting you to join along with their singing. Also the percussion that you hear throughout like the whole song starting from the beginning. They're using like a drum set, but the way that you feel it, and apparently the way that they're dancing to it too. I was telling Peyton like the entire time I kept just wanting to be like ba 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 ba. Also in those times you hear like background like oh whoa in the very beginning of the song, like oh whoa, which is like very common, typical in like anthem style songs. One thing I really wanted to talk about was like in the pre-chorus, I was like, oh, what's that noise? It's like this sort of synth that's very distorted, and it starts lower pitched and then halfway through the pre-chorus it goes higher up, higher pitched. It's kind of like a siren alarm warning sound. Warning, the chorus is coming. Something's gonna happen. And they had other sound effects, like actual sound effects throughout the song as well, like glass breaking, like distortions on their voices that just like add to this whole concept that they're going for. Last thing I will talk about is the bridge, because spooky, I said it's kind of spooky, piano bridge, very ominous. Halfway through the bridge, the piano does this like beautiful like it's very up and down, very sort of like turbulent, like your emotions are rising alongside these like layered background vocals that they add. And Peyton wasn't able to hear me say it because the music was very loud, but I was saying it kind of reminds me of like The Little Prince. And The Little Prince is like huge in Korea, but like, you know, building the plane but going into space and then all the planets that are there. Hopefully that all made sense. But that's all I had to say. I am done now. So TLDR for this video is Blitzers, congratulations on your first comeback! And their newest release called We'll Make a Mistake 실수 좀 할게 really solidified the sort of Blitzer style sound that they've created for themselves, not just in the music but also like in the dance, maybe in this music video seeming storyline that we're getting as well. So we're curious to see what they're gonna do for their next comeback too. Hopefully we won't have to wait too long.
But if you also enjoyed this first comeback from Blitzers, if you also adore them and are excited to see what they do next, then come talk to us on our socials. They are linked in the cards, and we're always ready to chat about K-pop and idols that we love. And if you enjoyed this reaction video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and bye!
Bye!